In the heart of ancient Japan, where cherry blossoms bloomed like delicate clouds of pink and the mountains whispered tales of old, there lived a humble woodcutter named Hiro. He spent his days among the towering pines and whispering bamboo, his axe ringing out like a song in the quiet forest. One evening, as Hiro made his way home through the woods, he stumbled upon a sight that took his breath away. The heavenly maiden, her robes as white as snow and her hair as dark as midnight, dancing amidst the moonlit trees. Enraptured by her beauty, Hiro watched in awe as she moved with grace and elegance, her laughter like the tinkling of bells in the night. And though he knew that he should not intrude upon such celestial splendor, he found himself unable to tear his eyes away from her ethereal form. As the maiden danced, she caught sight of Hiro standing among the trees, his eyes filled with wonder and admiration. And with a smile that lit up the darkness, she beckoned him to join her in her dance. For hours they danced beneath the stars, their hearts entwined in a melody of love and longing. And as the first light of dawn broke across the horizon, the maiden vanished into the mist, leaving Hiro alone in the forest, his heart filled with a bittersweet yearning. From that day forth, Hiro returned to the forest each evening, hoping to catch another glimpse of the heavenly maiden who had captured his heart. And though he searched high and low, she remained elusive, her presence felt only in the whisper of the wind and the rustle of leaves. But Hiro's devotion did not go unnoticed by the spirits of the forest, who watched over him with care and affection. And so, one moonlit night, as Hiro sat beneath the cherry blossoms, lost in thoughts of the maiden he loved, a gentle voice spoke to him from the shadows. "Your love has touched the heart of the celestial realm," said the voice, "and the heavenly maiden wishes to reward your devotion with a gift beyond compare." With a wave of its hand, the spirit summoned forth a magical scroll, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. And as Hiro unrolled the scroll, he discovered that it contained a map that would lead him to the celestial realm, where he would be united with his beloved maiden once more. Filled with gratitude and determination, Hiro set out on his journey, following the map through mountains and valleys, across rivers and forests, until at last he reached the gates of the celestial realm. There, amidst a garden of stars and clouds, he found the heavenly maiden waiting for him, her eyes shining with love and joy. And as they embraced beneath the moonlit sky, Hiro knew that his love for her would last for all eternity, a bond forged in the quiet depths of the forest and destined to endure forevermore. In a small village nestled at the edge of a dense forest, there lived two siblings named Hansel and Gretel. They were as different as night and day. Hansel, brave and adventurous, and Gretel, kind-hearted and gentle. One winter, their cruel stepmother convinced their father to abandon them deep in the forest, for they could no longer afford to feed them. Heartbroken and frightened, Hansel and Gretel wandered through the woods, their path obscured by thickets of thorns and towering trees. As darkness fell, they stumbled upon a strange cottage made entirely of candy and sweets. Tempted by the delicious aroma wafting from within, they cautiously approached, unaware of the witch who dwelled within. The witch, with her wicked smile and greedy eyes, invited them inside, promising them warmth and shelter from the cold night. But as Hansel and Gretel stepped over the threshold, the door slammed shut behind them, trapping them in the witch's clutches. For days, the witch fattened Hansel up with treats and sweets, intending to cook him in her oven and feast upon him. Gretel, wise beyond her years, devised a plan to save her brother and herself from the witch's wickedness. When the witch ordered Gretel to check the oven's temperature, Gretel pretended not to understand, feigning ignorance to buy them more time. Enraged, the witch thrust open the oven door to show her, and in that moment, Gretel pushed her with all her might, sending the witch tumbling into the flames. With the witch defeated, Hansel and Gretel escaped from the cottage and ran through the forest until they reached the safety of their village. There, they were joyously reunited with their father, who had spent every day searching for them since their departure. Together, they returned home, where they found their stepmother gone, her wickedness banished from their lives forever. And though they had faced darkness and danger in the forest, Hansel and Gretel emerged stronger and braver than ever before, their bond as siblings unbreakable, their hearts filled with the sweet taste of victory over evil. In a village where the golden fields stretched as far as the eye could see, there lived a peasant and his daughter, Marina. Though they had little in terms of material wealth, Marina possessed a wisdom and cleverness that far surpassed her years. One day, word spread throughout the village of a fierce dragon terrorizing the countryside, demanding tribute from the villagers in exchange for their safety. The peasant, fearful for his daughter's safety, sought a way to protect her from the dragon's wrath. Seeing her father's distress, Marina devised a plan to outsmart the dragon. She approached the beast's lair with a basket of freshly baked bread, its aroma wafting through the air like a sweet melody. As the dragon emerged from the shadows, its scales gleaming in the sunlight, Marina greeted it with a smile. "Mighty dragon," she said, her voice steady and calm, "I come bearing a gift of peace and friendship." Intrigued by Marina's courage and kindness, the dragon listened as she spoke of the beauty of the village and the warmth of its people. She painted a vivid picture of a world where fear and anger gave way to harmony and understanding. Moved by Marina's words, the dragon vowed to leave the village in peace, no longer demanding tribute from its inhabitants. And in return for her kindness, the dragon bestowed upon Marina a gift, the wisdom of the ages, passed down through generations of dragons. With her newfound wisdom, Marina became a trusted advisor to the villagers, using her insight and cunning to solve disputes and overcome challenges. Her father looked on with pride, knowing that his daughter's wisdom had saved their village from destruction. And so, Marina's tale spread far and wide, a testament to the power of kindness, courage, and wisdom to overcome even the greatest of obstacles. And though she remained a humble peasant's daughter, Marina's legacy lived on in the hearts of all who knew her, inspiring generations to come to seek wisdom and compassion in all their endeavors. In a bustling city nestled at the foot of a towering mountain, there lived a humble woodcutter named Ali Baba. Despite his modest means, Ali Baba was known far and wide for his kindness and generosity, always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need. One day, while chopping wood in the forest, Ali Baba stumbled upon a hidden cave concealed by a magical seal. Curious, he spoke the words engraved upon the seal, and to his astonishment, the cave's entrance swung open, revealing a treasure trove of riches beyond his wildest dreams. Unbeknownst to Ali Baba, the cave belonged to a band of notorious thieves led by a cunning and ruthless leader named Morgiana. Each night, they would gather in the cave to divide their spoils and plan their next heist, their ill-gotten gains filling the cavern to the brim. Filled with wonder and awe, Ali Baba returned home with a heart full of excitement, eager to share his discovery with his family. But when Morgiana learned that someone had breached the sanctity of their cave, she swore vengeance upon the intruder, determined to protect her secrets at any cost. With cunning and guile, Morgiana disguised herself as a poor peasant woman and made her way to Ali Baba's doorstep, begging for shelter and assistance. Moved by her plight, Ali Baba welcomed her into his home, unaware of the danger that lurked beneath her humble facade. As the days passed, Morgiana watched and waited, biding her time until she could strike. And when the opportunity finally presented itself, she slipped a mark upon Ali Baba's door, signaling to her fellow thieves that it was safe to strike. That night, as Ali Baba and his family slept soundly in their beds, the thieves descended upon the house like silent shadows, their faces hidden beneath masks of darkness. But as they crept closer to their prey, Morgiana intervened, secretly marking the doors of their neighbors with the same symbol. When the thieves returned to the city the following night, they found themselves surrounded by a sea of marked doors, unable to distinguish friend from foe. Confused and disoriented, they fled into the night, their plans foiled by Morgiana's quick thinking and cunning. And so, Ali Baba and his family lived happily ever after, their lives forever changed by the unexpected kindness of a stranger and the bravery of a woman determined to protect those she cared for. And though the thieves may have escaped into the darkness, they knew that justice would always prevail in the end, shining a light on the darkness and illuminating the path to a brighter tomorrow. Once upon a time, in a quaint seaside village nestled between towering cliffs and the endless expanse of the sea, there lived a humble fisherman named Finn. Every morning, Finn would set sail in his small boat, casting his nets into the sparkling waters, hoping for a bountiful catch to provide for his beloved wife, Elora, and their young daughter, Arya. One crisp morning, as the sun kissed the horizon with its golden rays, Finn's net grew heavy with a remarkable discovery: a gleaming silver fish, its scales shimmering like precious jewels. As Finn reached out to retrieve the fish, it spoke in a voice that sounded like tinkling bells. "Please, kind fisherman," the fish implored, "spare my life, and I shall grant you 3 wishes as a token of gratitude." Finn, astonished by the talking fish, paused to consider its offer. He thought of his dear Laura, who dreamed of a life of luxury far beyond their humble cottage by the sea. "Very well," Finn replied, "I shall spare your life. For my first wish, I wish for a grand mansion where my wife and daughter can live in comfort and splendor." With a flick of its tail, the magical fish granted Finn's wish. In an instant, a magnificent mansion materialized on the cliffs overlooking the sea, adorned with glistening towers and lush gardens. Elara's eyes widened in wonder as she beheld their new home, filled with opulent furnishings and treasures beyond imagination. Arya danced with joy through the halls, marveling at the beauty surrounding her. For a time, Finn and his family reveled in their newfound wealth and luxury. Yet, as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Elara's heart grew restless. No matter how grand their mansion or how lavish their possessions, she could not shake the feeling of emptiness that gnawed at her soul. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sea whispered its ancient secrets, Elora stood upon the cliffs, gazing out at the endless expanse of water. She longed for something more, something that no amount of wealth could provide. "Dear fish," she whispered, her voice carried away by the gentle breeze, "grant me a wish. I wish to be as powerful as the mighty ocean, to command the winds and the waves." The magical fish, ever faithful to its promise, granted Elara's wish. In an instant, she felt the power of the elements coursing through her veins, her hair swirling like the foam-tipped waves crashing against the cliffs. With her newfound power, Elara commanded the winds to dance and the waves to rise, delighting in her ability to shape the world around her. Yet, as she reveled in her strength, she could not shake the sense of loneliness that gripped her heart. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Elara's desire for power consumed her, driving a wedge between her and her family. Arya, once the light of her life, now seemed a mere distraction from her quest for supremacy. One stormy night, as the sea raged against the shore and lightning illuminated the sky, Elara stood alone upon the cliffs, her eyes ablaze with determination. "Fish of the sea," she cried out above the roar of the waves, "grant me one final wish. I wish to be the ruler of all, to command not only the elements but also the hearts of men." The magical fish, saddened by Elara's descent into greed and ambition, granted her wish with a heavy heart. In an instant, Elara found herself seated upon a throne of coral and pearl, her subjects bowing before her in awe and fear. Yet, as she gazed upon her kingdom spread out before her, Elara felt a pang of regret pierce her heart. She had sacrificed everything she held dear in pursuit of power, only to find herself more alone than ever before. In that moment of clarity, Elara realized the true folly of her desires. With a heavy heart, she cast aside her crown and her throne, returning to the simple life she once knew. And so, the fisherman's wife learned that true happiness cannot be found in wealth or power, but in the love of family and the simple joys of life by the sea. And though she had strayed from the path, she found her way back home, where the waves sang lullabies and the stars danced in the night sky, guiding her toward a brighter future. In a humble village nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering streams, there lived a kind-hearted peasant named Ivan. Despite his meager possessions, Ivan was content with his simple life, finding joy in the beauty of nature and the warmth of friendship. One fateful day, as Ivan toiled in his fields, a shadow fell across the land, and a dark figure appeared before him. It was the devil himself, with eyes as black as coal and a smile as twisted as thorns. "Ah, Ivan," the devil crooned, his voice dripping with malice. "I have come to make you an offer, a bargain that will bring you riches beyond your wildest dreams." Intrigued but wary, Ivan listened as the devil laid out his proposal. In exchange for his soul, the devil promised Ivan untold wealth and power, enough to elevate him from poverty to prosperity in an instant. But Ivan, though tempted by the devil's offer, hesitated. He knew that to surrender his soul would mean forsaking everything he held dear: the beauty of the natural world, the warmth of friendship, and the purity of his own spirit. Instead, Ivan proposed a counteroffer. "I will agree to your bargain," he said, "but only if you can perform a task that I deem impossible." The devil, intrigued by Ivan's challenge, agreed to his terms. And so, Ivan set the devil to the task of emptying the nearby lake with nothing but a sieve, promising to forfeit his soul if the devil succeeded. For days and nights, the devil labored tirelessly, scooping water from the lake with his sieve and pouring it onto the dry earth. But no matter how hard he worked, the lake remained full, its waters replenished by the ever-flowing springs beneath. Frustrated and defeated, the devil conceded defeat, unable to fulfill Ivan's impossible task. And with that, Ivan's soul remained his own, untainted by the lure of wealth and power. In the end, Ivan realized that true riches lay not in material possessions or worldly desires, but in the richness of the human spirit and the bonds of love and friendship that sustained him. And so, he returned to his humble life in the village, grateful for the blessings that surrounded him and the wisdom he had gained from his encounter with the devil. In a kingdom where the sun painted the sky in hues of gold and the breeze carried whispers of ancient tales, there lived a young girl named Anna. Anna was known throughout the land for her gentle heart and boundless curiosity, but she was happiest when she was surrounded by the beauty of nature. One day, while wandering through the enchanted forest that bordered her village, Anna stumbled upon a small, injured bird lying among the tangled roots of a tree. Its feathers were ruffled, its wing bent at an awkward angle, and its eyes filled with pain. Moved by compassion, Anna gently scooped up the little bird and cradled it in her hands, whispering words of comfort and reassurance. With gentle fingers, she splinted its wing and tended to its wounds, using herbs and remedies she had learned from her grandmother. Day by day, the little bird grew stronger under Anna's care, its feathers regaining their luster and its spirit soaring high once more. And as it healed, a bond of friendship blossomed between them, uniting them in a bond that transcended words and understanding. But as the days turned to weeks and the weeks to months, Anna began to notice a change in the bird, a restlessness in its eyes and a longing in its song. Sensing that its heart yearned for something beyond the confines of the forest, Anna made a decision that would change both their lives forever. With a heavy heart, Anna bid farewell to the little bird, releasing it into the sky with a silent prayer on her lips. And as she watched it soar into the clouds, she felt a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that she had helped a friend find its wings and follow its dreams. Years passed, and Anna never forgot the little bird that had touched her heart and taught her the true meaning of friendship and freedom. And though she never saw it again, she knew that their bond would endure for all eternity, a testament to the power of love and kindness in a world filled with wonders beyond imagining. In a village nestled among rolling hills and lush meadows, there lived a poor farmer and his wife who longed for a child of their own. One day, their prayers were answered when a mysterious visitor appeared at their door, a beautiful fairy who promised to grant them their deepest desire. With a wave of her wand, the fairy transformed a small bull calf into a baby boy, swaddled in blankets of the softest wool. Overjoyed by their newfound son, the farmer and his wife named him Ivan and raised him with love and care. As Ivan grew, so too did his strength and vitality. He was larger and stronger than any other child in the village, with a heart as gentle as a lamb and a spirit as fierce as a lion. But despite his size, Ivan longed to prove himself to the world, to show that he was more than just a simple bull calf, but a brave and noble hero worthy of admiration and respect. One day, as Ivan roamed the fields with his father's herd, he stumbled upon a band of fierce bandits who threatened to steal the village's crops and livestock. With a roar of defiance, Ivan charged into battle, using his strength and cunning to drive the bandits away and save the village from harm. From that day forth, Ivan became known as the Little Bull Calf, a fearless protector of the weak and a champion of justice. With each passing year, his legend grew, until he was revered throughout the land as a hero of unparalleled courage and strength. But despite his newfound fame, Ivan remained humble and true to his roots, never forgetting the love and kindness of the parents who had raised him as their own. And though he faced many trials and tribulations along the way, Ivan's heart remained steadfast, his spirit unbreakable as he continued to defend the innocent and fight for justice wherever it was needed. And so, the tale of the Little Bull Calf lived on in the hearts of all who knew it, a testament to the power of love, courage, and the indomitable spirit of a hero born from humble beginnings. In a kingdom nestled amidst snow-capped mountains and lush forests, there lived a young prince named Ivan. Despite his royal lineage, Ivan was known throughout the land for his humility and kindness, always seeking to help those in need. One frosty morning, as Ivan rode through the forest on his noble steed, he stumbled upon a wounded bird lying upon the forest floor. Its feathers were ruffled, and its wing was broken, leaving it unable to fly. Moved by compassion, Ivan dismounted from his horse and gently cradled the bird in his hands. With tender care, he splinted its wing and nursed it back to health, providing warmth and nourishment until it was strong enough to take flight once more. Grateful for Ivan's kindness, the bird offered him a single feather as a token of its gratitude before soaring into the sky, its song echoing through the forest like a melody of thanks. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but Ivan never forgot the kindness he had shown to the wounded bird. And so, when news reached the kingdom of a fearsome dragon terrorizing the nearby villages, Ivan knew that he had to act. With the blessing of his parents, Ivan set out on a quest to slay the dragon and bring peace to the land. Armed with nothing but his courage and his unwavering determination, he journeyed deep into the heart of the forest, guided by the memory of the bird's grateful song. At last, he reached the dragon's lair, its walls towering high above him like ancient guardians of a forgotten treasure. With a deep breath, Ivan stepped forward, his heart filled with resolve as he faced the fearsome beast that stood between him and his quest. But just as the dragon prepared to unleash its fiery wrath upon him, a familiar song echoed through the air, a melody of hope and gratitude that filled Ivan's heart with courage. And as he looked up, he saw the bird he had once saved flying overhead, its feathers shimmering in the sunlight as it circled above him. With a triumphant cry, Ivan charged forward, his sword held high as he engaged the dragon in battle. Blow after blow, he fought with all his strength, his courage fueled by the memory of the bird's gratitude and the knowledge that he was fighting for the greater good. And in the end, it was Ivan's bravery and selflessness that prevailed. With a final strike, he drove his sword into the heart of the dragon, vanquishing the beast and bringing peace to the land once more. As the kingdom rejoiced in their newfound freedom, Ivan returned home, his heart filled with pride and gratitude for the lessons he had learned on his journey. And though he may have been a prince by birth, it was his acts of kindness and bravery that truly made him worthy of his title, a grateful prince whose legacy would live on in the hearts of all who knew him. In a kingdom where the stars danced in the night sky and the moon cast its silver glow upon the land, there lived a young emperor named Leo. Leo was known for his love of music, and his palace echoed with the sweet melodies of minstrels and troubadours from far and wide. But despite the splendor of his court, Leo longed for something more, of a song so beautiful it could capture the very essence of his kingdom and bring joy to all who heard it. One day, as Leo strolled through the palace gardens, he heard the most enchanting melody drifting through the air. Mesmerized by its beauty, he followed the sound until he came upon a small, unassuming nightingale perched upon a branch. Enraptured by the bird's song, Leo begged it to stay and sing for him forever. And though the nightingale was hesitant at first, it was soon won over by the emperor's sincerity and agreed to remain in the palace, filling the air with its sweet music. As the days turned into weeks, the nightingale's song became a beloved fixture in the palace, bringing joy and happiness to all who heard it. But as time passed, Leo grew restless, longing for new and more extravagant forms of entertainment. Driven by his desire for novelty, Leo replaced the nightingale with a mechanical bird, adorned with jewels and powered by gears and springs. And though the mechanical bird could sing the most complex melodies, it lacked the soulful beauty of the nightingale's song. Heartbroken and rejected, the nightingale flew away from the palace, its melodious voice silenced by Leo's indifference. And as the emperor reveled in the mechanical bird's artificial music, he soon realized the error of his ways. For without the nightingale's song to lift their spirits, the palace grew cold and lifeless, its halls empty and devoid of joy. And as Leo wandered through the silent corridors, he realized that true beauty could not be bought or manufactured. It could only be found in the simple pleasures of life, like the song of a nightingale in the moonlit night. Determined to right his wrongs, Leo set out in search of the nightingale, determined to win back its favor and restore its rightful place in the palace. And though his journey was long and arduous, Leo's heart was filled with hope, knowing that with the nightingale's song, his kingdom would once again be filled with joy and laughter. And so, in the kingdom of Leo and the nightingale, it was said that true beauty could be found not in riches or extravagance, but in the simple joys of life, like the song of a bird in the stillness of the night.